From the New Arts and Media Studios in Milwaukee, I'm Charles Purcell. This is The Log. Hey, I had my first post-COVID gig. As some of you know, in my other life, I'm a musician. I'm a working musician. The gig was in Ripon, Wisconsin. So, way out, hour and a half from Milwaukee, where I live. So out into the hinterlands, out into the Alabama of Wisconsin, because that's kind of what Wisconsin is now. It's Alabama North, with these beautiful, liberal, progressive islands of Milwaukee and Madison, and then a couple cool little outposts. Maybe in Door County, in Sturgeon Bay, you might find a nice little pocket of progressives. There are spots here and there, little college towns. But generally I was in the Alabama of Wisconsin. 100% pure white folks eating their bratwurst and drinking their beer and wearing their sleeveless tees. And, you and I have talked about this before. I fully confess I'm becoming less and less tolerant as I get older and as the world sort of shifts in front of our eyes. I just have no patience. I have no patience for the politics. I have no patience for the culture. I don't even have patience anymore for the music, the fashion, just the general demeanor of these people. And I know I just said these people. I'm becoming less tolerant. I know we're all supposed to be more tolerant. We're supposed to be more understanding. We got to come together. I know. I hear it every day. Full confession, I'm going the opposite direction. I just can't even. I decided to not load up with any podcasts or anything. I mean, it's only an hour and a half drive. That's not forever. A couple hours maybe at the most. I just decided to take my chance and listen to the radio. Good old-fashioned over-the-air radio. Oh my God. It's so sad. You can't get anything. It's like the cross-country trips I've taken, these long stretches through Nebraska, where all you can find is country music and religion. Yeah, that's what Wisconsin is now. It's just so sad. Well, I tuned in to a religious station because this guy was talking about creationism. And okay, let's listen to what this guy has to say. And he went on and on. He must have gone on for 20 minutes. And that's just when I was listening. I don't know where he was before and after, probably on the same subject. And it was all about how there's no way that birds could have evolved from dinosaurs, which is the consensus among biologists, evolutionary scientists. So this creationist was absolutely so sure of himself because, and he hung his hat on this issue of lungs. Apparently birds breathe differently than lizards and other reptiles. Lizards and reptiles have lungs more like humans, where the air goes down one pipe, it's inhaled in one pipe, and it's exhaled out of the same pipe. Whereas birds, I learned this is something I learned, they inhale through one pipe and they exhale through another pipe. Their lungs, their breathing apparatus works differently. So this creationist said, since dinosaurs were reptiles, that they have completely different ways of breathing, and this was his proof that all of scientists, that the consensus was wrong, and he was very happy with himself. Well, I knew there had to be something wrong with this picture, because one creationist I happened to hear on the radio driving from Ripon, Wisconsin, I kind of doubted that he had the answer to negate everything that evolutionary science has taught us. So when I got home, I just Googled it up. Took me all of about 30 seconds to learn that dinosaurs did indeed have that same kind of breathing apparatus. At least some of them did. There were different kinds of dinosaurs. I'm not an expert. I don't know these things, but there's something else I learned, that there were different kinds of dinosaurs, and some of them breathed like reptiles, and some of them breathed like birds. So everything's intact. I mean, I knew this was going to be the fact, and I also pretty much figured it would take me all of about 30 seconds to debunk what this guy was saying. Yeah, the world we live in. Oh, speaking of religion, the long-awaited 2020 census numbers are kind of filtering out a little bit at a time. And American Religion, I'm always interested to see this. Public Religion Research Institute, PRRI, they're always on top of this stuff. They reported the latest on 2020 census numbers, religion in America. And not too many big surprises. Overwhelmingly Christian, whether it's evangelical or Catholic or Mormons, Protestants. Generally Christian, by about 75%. But the largest single group, when you break everybody down between white evangelicals, white mainline Protestants, white Catholic, Mormons, Orthodox, black Protestant, Hispanic Protestant, etc., etc. So they broke them down into groups. The largest single group, at 23%, are what they refer to as the nuns. No, not the Sister Mary Catherine nuns, the nuns, N-O-N-E-S, unaffiliated. So, I'm an unaffiliated. Maybe you are too. If you are, we are now the largest group in America. Okay, all right, that's something. White Christians continue to decline, although at a slower pace. They've been declining now for a little while. And we talked about this the other day, that these are the people who are very frightened that they're losing their position as the dominant sector in America, and that's why they're forming militias and invading the Capitol and doing things like this. Now, one thing kind of disappointing, reading now from the PRRI report, the rise of the nuns slows. Disaffiliating white Christians have fueled the growth of the religiously unaffiliated during this period. Only 16% of Americans reported being religiously unaffiliated in 2007. This proportion rose to 19% by 2012, and then gained roughly percentage point each year since then. Reflecting the patterns above, the proportions of religiously unaffiliated Americans hit a high point of 26% in 2018, but has since slightly declined to 23% in 2020. Still the largest group, but a slight decline from 26 to 23. Also disappointing, and I should look this up, out of the nuns, how many consider themselves atheists? That I don't know the number. You know, I'm too curious. I'm going to look that up. Let's see here. Percentage of atheists in the U.S. It's only 4%, according to Pew Research. 2019 being the most recent numbers here. So we're counted among the unaffiliated, which is 23%, but those who identify as atheists, only 4%. Okay, so there you go, if you're interested. Man, these stories recently about the boarding schools, many of them run by Catholics, the schools of assimilation for First Nations children, stolen from their parents, basically cultural genocide. They weren't allowed to speak their language. I mean, you've seen the stories over the last couple of weeks since they found these mass graves in Canada, and then more and then more. I don't really know much about it in my own family history, but my dad's first wife was a First Nations woman, and she, as a child, attended one of these schools. So I heard about that as a kid. But just horrible, horrible stories. I mean, talk about my own intolerance these days. I've become increasingly intolerant of religion itself. I guess you could call me anti-religious. On the heels of these horrible stories about the schools, there's a growing call to tax churches. I mean, there has to be a way to demand reparations. And beyond that, it's just high time to tax the incredible wealth. There's so much money out there. Billions and billions of taxes just waiting to be had if churches were taxed as they ought to be. Well, what else is going on? Oh, this story. Oh my God, this story. Over the weekend, did you see this? The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, which is just a great institution. They've been doing great things for so many years. Well, they recorded this song, and I don't know if I should play it. I posted it online, but the chorus themselves asked people to delete the posts because of the uproar it caused. Well, basically, it's a song about the so-called gay agenda. It's about how they're accused of coming for the kids and converting them. And it's this beautiful, beautiful parody about how, yeah, we're coming for your kids and we're absolutely going to convert them. And our gay agenda is kindness, tolerance, justice, understanding, caring. And it's beautiful. Maybe at the end of the show, I'll play it for you. I think I can do that. But I took down the post because the right-wing bigots of this country, they just lost their minds, whatever minds they had left to lose. They just went insane about how inappropriate it was, and this is all this gay agenda stuff. They just, they didn't get the joke. They didn't get the beauty. Of course they didn't. They're haters and bigots and the most horrible people. So it caused this, I don't want to say controversy because a controversy needs two sides. What it caused was, and why the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus decided to take down the post, because it endangered people's lives. The bad people were sharing this with each other. They were calling for their heads. And all of a sudden, now there are credible threats. There are death threats, threats of violence from the bigots, from the right-wingers, to the point where the chorus had no choice but to take it down. They changed the settings, they made it private, and they asked us not to share it. So as soon as I saw that, I deleted the post. It was only up for about 5 minutes, but then as I was reading the article, oh, okay, you want us to take it down? I will. I'm tempted, though, still to play the song for you. I don't know if I'm going to. This from a conservative, this is one example. Jack Hadfield tweeted, "The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus have now made this sick video private where they boast about converting the children of conservatives. We're coming for your children." So yeah, they call it sick. It's sick to have values like caring and understanding and justice. So of course it's obvious to anybody with half a brain that when they say we're going to convert your children, we all know exactly what they mean. They're using the bigots' own words against them, and what they really mean is we're going to convert them into kind, understanding people who understand qualities like justice and love. But of course to them, the bigots, the haters, convert only means, we're going to come have sex with your kids. What kind of an ignorant bigot do you have to be? Well, I don't have to tell you. And if you want to go find it and watch it and listen to it, I don't know. I understand why they made it private. If you can still find it, I encourage you to do so. It's really beautiful. But I would honor their wishes and not share it. Here's what Gay Men's Chorus tweeted. Let me read this to you. On July 1st, we posted message from the gay community to San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus TV and across social media. It was chosen because of how loved it was, and when we performed it live here in San Francisco at Pride at Sing Outs in South Carolina and at the Pride Showcase. The piece was commissioned by the Oakland Symphony, who shared it with us. The far-right conservative media found our message video and have taken it as their cause. This has all happened in the last 24 hours, and it continues to pick up steam. They have taken the lyrics out of context to support a narrative that suits their intolerant and hateful needs. It is obvious the tongue-in-cheek humor is lost on many. As a result, we have seen the user comments on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram become increasingly alarming. Emails to individuals and the chorus office are vitriolic, including threats of harm. We feel the first action we must take to keep everyone involved with the chorus and the making of this video safe is to turn the video to private. We are communicating with law enforcement both locally and nationally. We will not be threatened, and we follow legal steps to act on those threats. We will always accept others who may hold different values, but when violence is their choice of expression, since 1969, we have not backed down. After decades of children being indoctrinated and taught intolerance for anyone who is other from using the Bible as a weapon to reparative therapy, it's our turn. We have dedicated ourselves to being role models, teaching and spreading the message of love, tolerance, and celebration through our music. Our second action is to work to control the narrative. The video is being illegally copied and placed on YouTube, Instagram, and other websites. Others have the right to follow fair use laws, but that is not what is happening here. Therefore, our social media and marketing staff are working around the clock to alert moderators at YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and to file DMCAs, takedown of websites featuring stolen content. So far, this has been very successful. Lastly, if you receive personal communication of any kind regarding this video, please forward to info@sfgmc.org. Thank you for your love and support and for believing in the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus and its mission. We are proud of who we are. We are proud of what we sing. Yours, Tim, Chris, and Glenn. Okay, Tim, Chris, and Glenn. So they've asked us to take it down. So I took it down reluctantly. It's a beautiful song with a beautiful message. It's funny, it's clever, it's, of course, beautifully performed. They're very good musicians. But yeah, some serious trolls out there with serious threats. So this is both kind of a wonderful and happy story and a really disturbing story as well. I imagine over time it'll see the light of day again, and people are sharing it even though they've been asked not to. My inclination is to share, but, it's their request, so I'm going to honor that. Let's stick with culture here for a minute. The Beyond Van Gogh exhibit opened in Milwaukee this weekend. And if you're not familiar, it's this big sort of multimedia presentation that's been designed by apparently very talented people, kind of Broadway designers. It's a big deal. And it's been touring the country, and it's supposed to be this big sort of immersive experience. There's these great moving projections of Van Gogh paintings and Van Gogh-esque images. And it's as though you're entering right in. And most of the media, I've been looking all around trying to find different articles or reviews, and almost everything, it's almost universally beloved. People just love it. But from the minute I first read about it, I got a very uncomfortable feeling. I thought, this just looks really hacky and dumb. It looks like what people who know nothing about art think is art. Now, I guess the positive spin on that is you can bring in people who are not necessarily educated in art. It's not their thing. And this will bring them into the experience and maybe open their eyes to a world that they had yet to discover. And that's, I guess, the positive spin you can put on it. Since I'm being kind of a negative, intolerant person lately, oh God, I got to work on myself. That wasn't my thought. My thought is just cheapens everything. It makes it into something it's not. And whatever people you may lure into this exhibit, I'm not sure what they're going to get out of it, except maybe a temporary thrill. I don't know. I have a good friend named Gary out in New York. He wrote this. Take one cavernous space in a major city and project images from the paintings of the legendary artist Vincent van Gogh in a massive high-resolution format. Add a big-name producer, a Broadway set designer, high-tech animation, watch his sunflowers grow, music, narration, an outrageous marketing budget, ticket prices that range from $29 to $99, and you have a recipe for a populist attraction that could potentially make a fortune for its investors. Immersive Van Gogh is now touring the United States. Vincent van Gogh never achieved fame or notoriety in his lifetime. He only sold one painting when he was alive, The Red Vineyard. He died at 37. When he was alive, he painted over 900 paintings in less than 10 years. He also wrote 800 letters, most of them to his brother and closest friend, Theo, who died not long after Vincent. Theo's wife made it her mission to collect Van Gogh's art. About 10 years after Van Gogh's death, people started to see the genius of his work. Van Gogh was fired from a job as an art dealer in Paris because he argued with his bosses about how art should not be treated as a commodity. The Red Vineyard was painted on burlap. It sold for 400 French francs, which is less than the top ticket to Immersive Van Gogh. So, yeah, I agree with my friend Gary, the sentiment that this all sounds a little off to me. In the comment thread of his post, I learned this whole tour is non-union, another reason to resist. And yeah, the commodification of art. If you want to love Van Gogh, if you want to immerse yourself in Van Gogh, scrimp and save and find the nearest painting. If you have to travel to Chicago or New York, and just stand in front of it for a while. The very act of standing in front of a painting is a transformative experience. But a light show with projections and moving images, I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't imagine that the same regions of your brain are firing. I think it's a whole different set. If you want to immerse yourself in Van Gogh, save up and take a trip and find a painting. Or here's something that's very easy to do. Go to your local bookstore and ask them to order Dear Theo, edited by Irving Stone. It's a collection of Van Gogh's letters to his brother Theo. Theo's wife, in addition to preserving all the paintings, preserved all the letters. So we're grateful to her for that. Yeah, if you want to immerse yourself in Van Gogh, just sit down and read Dear Theo. You don't need any light shows. You don't need any moving projections. This just sounds dumb to me. Now, almost nobody is criticizing this exhibit. Everything I can find is nothing but positive. Everybody loves it. I have personal friends who have seen it and tell me how much they love it. So who am I? Who am I? I'm in the habit of reviewing things I haven't seen. But I just have a very bad feeling about this. I have a very bad feeling. And I challenge you to read the letters of Vincent van Gogh and not be moved to tears. They are every bit as striking as his paintings. So I encourage you to do that. Go to your local bookstore, ask them to order Dear Theo for you. Not from Amazon. No, you don't do that. Please, for the love of Mike, please do not order from Amazon. Do me that favor. All right. Well, is that it for today? I think that's it for today. Should I do it? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to play for you this song written and performed by the Gay Men's Chorus of San Francisco. We're coming for your children. Listen carefully. It's fantastic.
As we celebrate Pride and the progress we've made over these past years, there's still work to be done. So to those of you out there who are still working against equal rights, we have a message for you.
You think we're sinful? You fight against our rights. You say we all lead lives you can't respect. But you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep him from disco, warn about San Francisco, make him wear pleated pants, we don't care. We'll convert your children. We'll make them tolerant and fair.
At first I didn't get why you'd be so scared of us turning your children into accepting, caring people, but I see now why you'd have a problem with that.
Just like you worried, they'll change their group of friends. You won't approve of where they go at night to protests. Oh, and you'll be disgusted when they start finding things online that you've kept far from their sight. Like information. Guess what? You'll still be alright. We'll convert your children, yes we will.
Reaching one and all, there's really no escaping it.
'Cause even grandma likes RuPaul.
And the world's getting kinder.
Gen Z's gayer than Grindr. Learn to love, learn to Vogue, face your fate. We'll convert your children. Someone's gotta teach them not to hate. We're coming for them.
We're coming for your children.
We're coming for them. We're coming for your children. We're coming for them.
Your children will care about fairness and justice for others. Your children will work to convert all their sisters and brothers. Then soon we're almost certain your kids will start converting you. The gay agenda is coming home. The gay agenda is here. But you don't have to worry. Because there's nothing wrong with standing by our side. Get on board and hurry. Because the world always needs a bit more pride. No, you don't have to worry. Because there's nothing wrong with standing by our side. Get on board and hurry. Because the world always needs a bit more pride. Come on, try a little pride. We'll convert your children. Then we'll turn to you, giving up the fear inside. It's freeing like you never knew.
Go and see San Francisco.
Go and turn up that disco.
You'll forget you were ever upset.
We'll convert your children and make an ally of you yet. We'll make an ally of you yet. We'll make an ally of you yet.
That's all for today. I love you. I'm Charles Purcell.